Boy, I tell you what, I love the energy in this group. You guys are so fun. I love the ideas, the strategic thinking that I see inside of you. And more than anything, my heart is today that you really feel like you grow and develop individually, but also as a team.
So we actually integrated the StrengthsFinder's workshop into our all-company planning session, and what was great about that is as people were setting their goals for the year, they were able to leverage their strengths in that planning process. So it was a really effective way to set our team up for success.
Brent did a great job of taking his personal experience and his own stories and using them as a way to articulate how strengths work.
We were moving into our little bitty rat hole apartment, and I put the can opener up on the counter. My wife said, honey, that's not where the can opener goes. I said, babe, there are 3 reasons why this can opener goes right here on the countertop. Number 1, that is where the electrical plug is. Number 2, that is a lot less work leaving it right here on top of the countertop. And number 3, and probably the most important reason that can opener goes right there is because that's where my mother put it. You know, the point of the story is that I was overusing my competition strength, and I had to learn. I had to develop knowledge and get skills and start practicing how to take that competition and actually turn it around for the good of my marriage. And I did.
I thought it was awesome how he brought in personal experiences from like his home life as well as from his work life. So I wasn't just thinking about it in terms of how I interact with my coworkers, but also how I interact with my husband and my family.
What I love about StrengthsFinders is it plays to your team's full potential and helps you unlock that. So instead of focusing on weaknesses or areas of improvement, it really focuses on tapping in to where people can add the most value, and not only doing that as individuals, but as a team.
We had this opportunity to go dog sledding for the very first time. This particular gentleman right here, Jeremy, who is the part owner of the dog sledding company, he says, Brent, what we do is we have 4 pairs of dogs that are harnessed together that pull the sled. He takes us to the first pair of dogs, and he said, Brent, these are the lead dogs, and they're the best listeners. So he takes us to the second pair of dogs, and he said, Brent, these are the point dogs. The point dogs, he said, are interesting because they have this vision, they have this ability to visualize the destination, but they also give this sense of push to the lead dogs that helps motivate them. Then he took us to the third pair of dogs. He said, Brent, these are what we call the swing dogs. He said, literally, the swing dogs are the most important pair of dogs to help with navigating sharp turns on the trail. And then finally, he takes us to the last 2 dogs. He said, Brent, these are the wheel dogs. He said, all they want to do is pull the sled and please you. They just want to be a part of the team. And that is the relationship building strengths.
Seeing other people's strengths, it didn't surprise me. It was a lot of like, oh yeah, that of course you're an arranger, or of course you have achiever or woo.
Some of my colleagues were maybe where I expected them to be, and others weren't, and they associated themselves in a different way. So that was really helpful to understanding what people's relative areas of contribution were.
The cool part was then to see how different individuals can work together and like lean on each other's strengths. So when you start to actually put it in the context of a broader team, then I think that's where you really tap into StrengthsFinder. I think one of the things that stuck out was the role-playing exercises, where we actually got to watch Brent take us through things like a performance review with using StrengthsFinder. And for me as a manager, it was really great to see how that conversation should be guided using strengths.
What do you want to accomplish in the next month?
Already we're kind of bringing or starting new projects with new clients. So kind of starting that off strong and getting those relationships off to a good start from the beginning. I feel like I've kind of realized that if you can be as open with them as possible, that helps in the long run and kind of gives us a face aside from just like a company that does work for them.
Mm-hmm. And I hear your individualization strength. You know, when you're talking about you need to know which client it is. Mm-hmm. So some clients are maybe more open to you talking with them. Other people are just, hey, just deliver the project.
Yeah.
I think StrengthsFinder is incredibly relevant, especially for organizations who want to boost employee engagement and boost productivity.
Like, I really enjoyed Brent as a speaker. I thought he was really great. He engaged with the crowd really well, and he just kept everyone active.
I can assure you that it's well worth the time investment for your team to not only take the assessment, but spend the day with a guy like Brent, who really is an expert at guiding your team through ways that they can use these strengths to your advantage. And so that was a really fun and insightful way to spend the day.